Home builders breaking higher. Might be power hour. Lennar. Posted on TGH. Easer. So my picture here. For those that are new, thank you for tuning in. For not, thank you for tuning in. Those long OGs, the ones that are always in here, thank you. They'll get it, okay? Takes a second. A couple of things, all right? Get to know the process, and the way to do that with TradeGateHub, and I apologize again for those ones that are looking for more action in Power Hour, okay? There's always something to do. Always scroll up. For those that just want to see my data, which I discourage, usually just on over a weekend or on a Monday is where I post a lot of my data. That's usually dynamic. That might be usually Wall Street research, economic data, or what have you going throughout the week. In the general room, it's full blast by the time I start posting usually 4 in the morning sometimes. Thank you for everybody there. Always scroll up, scroll down, a ton of data. The second thing you should be doing in part of your routine is going to TradeGateHub. Where are we? Paused. Oh no. Put the sign in. It's me, trust me. Wasting everybody's time with this password. Ridiculous. I can't take questions now because I can't get into YouTube. All right, no questions. Maybe I have too many windows open. All right, let's go to this, okay? Let's go over a couple of stocks. Now, with TradeGateHub, no matter what really your style is, it's really up to you. Like I said, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. And it's our job, coaching myself and the rest of the high-level participants to point out what's moving sometimes and why, okay? The example yesterday's Power Hour, let's keep Wolf as an example, okay? I said a stock moving from, well, first of all, let's keep in mind a stock is where it's going, not where it's been. Stock went from 12 to 16, if you will, in 2 days. There's the weekly, has everything you want. I always use an analogy another time. If it was a gold stock, it made widgets, or if it was at the TLT. It's really not, look at the, by the way, once it broke 7, for those that were shy this morning, even if when it broke that new high at 1702, and we're somewhat aware, that was the break high 1702, new high here, break high Wolf, and then it gave you 7. So listen, what I'm saying is, sometimes you weren't expecting it to just buy and walk away. You know, it's good for the active trader. It has calls, it has volumes, it has price action, it has range. That's everything you want, no matter really what style you are in this room, whether you're a day trader, swing trader, or long term. That's something that we try to bring to your attention for somebody trying to take money out of the market, no matter what. Let me give another example of price action, okay? Let's look at the service now. That's part of the software sector, whether you know it or not. Now you do. All right, goes with the other stocks, leading by Oracle, then Microsoft, and then some of the other laggers like D-Dog helped a little bit. But you see the service now. Let's talk about price action. This is service now. The stock, by the way, was seeing it at RSI, especially on a weekly, going back historically. Okay. Now, was it a matter of time? Yes. Are you going to pick the bottom of this? No, you're not going to pick the bottom in something like this all at once. You might not even make money in this. Usually in these type of trades, people are so happy just to break even. If they're trying to catch the proverbial knife, they get out of most of the trade and leave the meat on the trade. So listen, let me give you an example of price action. Look at the service now. Now, for those that don't have other news feeds or anything specific, I do always ask, let's use Grok for an example. And let's look at NOW, Goldman Sachs rating. Now, for somebody, let me go this. For somebody like myself that follows that, that's in front of this is what I do. Been doing it for almost 30 years. It's part of my routine. Not saying my routine is the best. I just maybe do my routine better than most. By the way, I'm not trying to step in front of any quant or algo. I have no ego, and nor do I want to. Like I said, curated by my peers and myself. And don't get me wrong, I'm highly trained. I ran with the ball. Don't get me wrong, but let's use this generic example of ServiceNow and Goldman Sachs rating. And then we'll get into a lot of other trades. Okay? What is this? Early February. Trust me, what is this? February 10th? They don't give the specific date, but I think it was 3 days ago. Okay? Goldman Sachs added ServiceNow to its U.S. conviction list. Now, let me give you an example of price action. If Goldman Sachs added ServiceNow to its U.S. conviction list on this daily chart right here, let's say right here, it would gap up 10%. But the price action here was even Goldman Sachs basically. Some people argue of its power. Don't get me wrong. Some people say they want to get out of it by an upgrade. But that's the type of market or price action you're dealing with in this type of market. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go back to some of yesterday's calls that may or may not have matriculated. Once again, you can go to yesterday's Power Hour at TradeGateHub.com. Why am I not in this thing? ADM. As I try to do multiple, I'm rolling that. ADM. Okay. Please, again, reverberate back to power. I think I'm in. Now, listen, not everything works. And by the way, not everything should work. If it was easy, first of all, everybody would be doing it, and B, it wouldn't be fun. Hi, Sherry, Hugo, well done. Thank you for joining us. This is what I'm seeing right now on the YouTube channel. Hugo, well done. And I saw what you posted about Microsoft. Whatever your style is fine, but it was my job to show you guys range, what's happening, price action. Software is obviously be out hot, and that was evidence in DDOG and in the other ones. Okay, let's go. My point was this. Oh, let's go to calls. As of yesterday, ADM taking calls again, the right type of calls, not these spec weeklies. Thank you, Hugo. I see you. There's the chart on ADM. Now, once again, going back to yesterday's Power Hour, not everybody should know. We're all students at one point. ADM is part of the ad culture. Okay, there's the chart on the leader, CF. There's the daily. There's the weekly on CF. For those that knows, and again, NTR is another one. Very sexy NTR. And there's the weeks. Okay, so ADM, that's in the sector. Yeah, there's the daily and the weekly. ADM still taking calls. WMB, I know J Norm is here. He saw WMB, the oil stock. Listen, it's not where it starts or where it finishes. That's a bearish reversal of volume into news. I'm not going to lie to you, oil stock, but that did pop and it did work. Another one that took calls yesterday, EWZ, that paused. Still taking calls. EWZ from yesterday's close. What did not work? Now, let me give you another example. Ethereum didn't work. It didn't bury you. But if once again, reverberating back to yesterday's Power Hour, as I said, Ethereum was taking calls. I even believe that, hold on, am I off the video? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go through a couple of charts here, because you might have missed it. ADM, because my picture was up there. There's the ADM chart. There's the WMB chart. EWZ, Brazil, still taking calls. What's working again, Miss Sherry? You didn't say it yet, Miss Sherry. It's an oil stock. Free TradeGateHub t-shirt within the next 5 seconds if you get it. YPF. Still taking calls, somehow bucking the oil trend. YPF. YPF. It doesn't matter what they do. Calls, cup and handle, price action. Yesterday was the volume shakeout. Beautiful. YPF taking calls. EWZ. Ethereum did not work. The rest of them weren't taking calls. Oxy. No, it isn't. It's YPF, Miss Sherry. So that, by the way, that's a pretty that is the second one, Oxy. Very good. All right, you get a reprieve. Oxy too. Exxon, what about that moron yesterday buying 6 million of calls into the close? He still got paid. How about the Exxon guy? Hugo, you want to be an oil trader? Look at this guy, still buying $10 million calls at the close on Exxon, and he's still getting away with it. Remember that yesterday, everyone? Seriously, getting pumped up here. Okay, what's going forward? JP Morgan. Oh, look at this thing. They're loading it with calls, by the way. JP Morgan. Buying JP Morgan calls. Listen, I'll show you. Doesn't mean it's going to work. By the way, Ms. Sherry, you has earnings after the close. You has earnings after the close, Ms. Sherry. Where was I saying? Which one was I pointing out? I'll run through it. PBR, both low, following the European oil patch. Do you see this? Netflix, by the way, a minute. And I'll get to my positions at the end. Shopify is earnings in the morning. That's all spec, hedge. KMI, I brought it up. There's the oil reversal. Doesn't mean it's done. 1 day reversal doesn't make it down day. What was I pointing at? There's the AAP calls. There's JP Morgan. Deep in the money. Something's they're buying JP Morgan. By the way, why not? Every time, every stock so far that it's been getting down to the proverbial 50-day has bounced, if not the 200-day. So you know what your line in the sand is. Doesn't mean it's going to work. I'm sorry about that. That was her. Where did you share it? Listen. You're mature enough. Where did you sell you? Ballpark. I'm not asking where you bought it. Where did you sell it? Ballpark price. I'm curious. What else is taking calls? Okay. As Sherry, listen. This one I'm interested in. This is a type of stock that you got to. Obviously, it's an own it, not trade it. It's gap worthy. It needs news. But it also goes with advanced auto parts. Carvana, CarMax. It's not sexy. Just note it. Exxon, taking calls today. I'm interested in this thing. Now, I am interested in this thing. Whatever this thing is, Femi. Now, I'm interested in this. Why? Not because it's gone from 7 to 9. It's obviously, it's where it's going, not where it's been. But I've been seeing calls come in for about the past 2 weeks. Decent sized calls. So whatever Fermi is, let's go to the weekly. I mean, whatever this thing is, it's got it in it. And I'll show you again. Trust me. I know you trust me, but there's you. By the way, I say it 1,000 times. The only subscription service I pay for is the Wall Street Jesus feed. Bottom line. Still nothing too exciting out there on the call side. Maybe, and by the way, when I mention something like FRMI, with all that's going on, including Hood and Sand, maybe that thing's that they're taking a back seat for a second. When you see late in the day, when I see late in the day to portray to you positioning in positioning in MU, small positioning is not much. People are on the sidelines. What was the one? FRMI. And believe me, it's been popping out throughout the day. Sherry, she's shy about the loss. That's okay. I get it. It's all right. ADM. Well, as I try. "50-year-old students are mass defaulting on loans." You just go to TradeGateHub for free. Raw stores, not bad, right? We were talking about the retailers yesterday, speaking about that. Raw stores. There you go, there's the top of raw stores. 5 below, probably the same thing. All right, let's go to the, let me go to the main room, and then we'll go to the main page. The two pirates. I don't know who the hell would imitate me. You know how much debt I have? No, I'm only kidding. Who gave me the thumbs up and a bearish a coach? I knew that. He's aware of that too. Listen, this MU. This is a bearish flag. Do you see this? Flip this chart upside down. What would the algos do if it was flipped upside down? Man, that's bad. I don't care what this does, at least technically, it would have to take a major catalyst, major, binary, for that chart to flip bullish within like a week or two. Hold on, a week. 2 weeks is a different story. All right, let's look at some big daddies, and I'm looking at the close. Some boomer stocks, Gen X stocks. Let's look at Coke. What did they do into the run-up, into the consumer staples, if you will? All right, Coke. There you go. What do they do to CVS, which I might take? Oh, I don't want it now. Look at that. What am I going to do there? That's ping pong. That's literally ping pong within a $6 range, which is less than 10% of a $70 stock, between all four moving averages. Not interested. Although, this is what that's channel driven. That's not even clean. You know what I mean? That's not even clean to me. So this CVS. We're taking that off the list. DuPont, those in the chemical sector. What about CC? CC still ripping. Olin. Oh, Olin. Hey, Gino, where are you on these things? Look at Olin now. Oh, to get it, drag me in. LYB, the king. The king cyclical. I didn't see this. Now I'm going to go to the main page. On these things. Look at. No, Cisco. It's, listen, Sherry, Cisco's going to be a stock just like Light. They're going to buy it until they don't. ADM. Archer Daniel Midland. You think, I'm telling you, look at this thing. Something's up here. I'm going to do it too. There's a gap. See, there's a gap there. What's that? I got to do it. Do it. What's that price? With a low. It says low. The low. 68. This is the gap right here. That low is 68. We need to close above 68. It's above 68. $69. Duh. All right, I got to get in. Buy 800. Pulse. There's Pulse. Do you have a Pulse? Pulse. Oh, it worked. Look at this. WPM. That took calls yesterday. You know what else took calls? HIMS, no bounce. UNH, no bounce. Zoom. ON Semiconductor. Velo, a hot stock. It's got nothing. WPM. IBRX. Does it have more? Let's get out of business. I got to stick with what has calls. FRMI. Are we in this thing? Am I going to do it? I don't even know what they do. What do I care? I got to. What is this? 938. Right, how many shares? That 6 million. 4,000 FRMI at the market. I'm a shareholder. GDX. This Heckler Mining's been taking for those power hour people. It's a little lagging now. What else do we have that's taking calls? Oracle. How's this closing? Nothing. Now, in the middle of the range, not interested. Cisco, no. Shopify into earnings. Tesla. What else? FRMI, I'm in that thing, right? YPF. Could have been, oh, this is coming in now. Even the YPF couldn't hold on. Where's Exxon? This moron. Someone there? NCLH, clean breakout. Clean. Daily on NCLH. Weekly on NCLH. This is going to be like a wolf. It's going to rest. Listen, this today, Fig. Oh no, Fig's up $2. Look at Fig. You see this, Peggy? See this, Peggy Sue? This is the mature Mike V now. Peggy, 1544 is the high of the day. Now it's 1372. Look at this. Executions. I probably sold, I like, there's 1,200, another 1,000. Believe me, I sold like 8,000. Look, there's another 1,700, 3,700, like 6,000 I sold at 1536. Yesterday I was buried in it. Look where it opened yesterday. It's 18. And I sold it, man. Executions. That's more of my sales today. I'll never, listen, that 1547 to 13.7, I'm never going to get that back. PBR breaking high. Let's look at the ones, the rippers like Spotify. Spotify, huge range. Had the rip. Then once it broke the opening price, 495 to 475. Those aren't my type of charts. ADM I'm in. I'm telling you. They got what? Here are my positions. Yeah, there we go. Netflix, I'm in. 2,000. FRMI, a top ticket. ADM. We'll shake them all out. There are my positions. This is wrong on Peggy, believe me. I didn't realize 15,000. I actually made money. Borg Warner, that's an auto part. Isn't it? Oh no, I erased my charts. FRMI, they don't want it now. My top ticket. ARBE, 174,000. Don't buy my pain. I'll go up to 300,000. I'm not buying a single more share. Okay. Let's look at the important things like SanDisk closing very poorly. Very, very poor action. This is the 5 minute on SanDisk making what? Let's even go a 30-minute low. SanDisk making what is that? It's a month. It's a 2-month low. You know what? I think the silver's a short. Not going to lie to you. Western Digital. Storage Tech. Now, I'm going to tell you something. It's not reflecting the price action, but the first one to crack, where are you? I'm going to put my picture on this. The first one to crack on these memory stocks, if you will, was Western Digital. That big volume day was earnings. It bounced back because the rest of them did. So you want to try one? Western Digital is my opinion. Technically, it looks like MU and SanDisk. I feel like one of these times, especially with with the employment report on Wednesday, it's in the back of my head. I hope I can be disciplined enough to. This feels like it's less is better. I'm not gonna lie to you. Any calls on Abbott? No calls on Abbott. No calls on Abbott. Nope. Nope. Your SOLS has earnings after the close, actually in the morning, Miss Sherry. So does R. This rider who's been the leader in the transport stocks, going with this XPO and one of my bigger positions. Come on now. X. Stock. Bitch. Just going lower. Roblox breaking lower. This light. Roblox. A lot of these 3 days up. See, there's a lot of these stocks. 3 days up Roblox. That's why I short you. I shorted you before. First of all, it was third day up. It doesn't mean that's the only reason, nor should it be a primary reason. But then I went to the weekly, and I saw that the weekly close on you was around 29.06. All right. So I saw the price action. I tried the third day up. And by the way, that's where I started shorting it today. Now, I'm not looking for a pat on the back. It might have worked and there are better trades, but I saw at least the technician of me followed through. There's me starting the follow-up short right here. Top of my shaboom. Matter of fact, the volume's done. So, a lot of these things that when you have these, I see this SOLS. When you have the move, a lot of these stocks that have bounced like this, doesn't mean Oracle stopped going down or hasn't either way. But the third day up with below moving averages is what's usually a decent fade. Pulse. IBRX hanging in there. I don't know why I can't keep my chart up at the same time. There's IBRX from yesterday. WPM, more calls. If you looked at power, I know Coach heard that. FRMI, is this worth it? I got it, right? It qualifies. Zoom, pop, rest. That'll go back in the penalty box. Zoom. That'll go down here. Zoom. That'll go down to like the Reddit area. Fig, they took up the IPO. They're selling the firm. Was that Asan? Asan. AMPX. I'll tell you what can't get tracked. You want to talk about bear flags again? We'll talk about bear flags. And the reason why I bring up Lyft is because Uber has earnings after the close. And I don't think this is one of these days where Uber is going to be up 20% and Lyft is going to be up 20% and Uber is going to be down. That's a McDonald's has more earnings in the morning. No problem. If they could do it to Five Below, they could do it to McDonald's. Ford has earnings after the close. Up to you. GM had a bad day the other day, 2 days ago. Now it's over. Hood after the close. Have no idea. Even though J-Nor did point out that Schwab was getting crushed. Goldman's not doing that. Actually, Goldman's doing okay. You know why? See the chart on Goldman? When they're buying, was I earlier on in the show, when they're buying deep in the money calls on JP Morgan at the 50-day here. You got to note that. That's one of the things I think you should note throughout this webinar, whatever you want to call this thing, is that I showed you it's the proper area, if you will. It's holding technically, it's taking calls, whatever. JP Morgan is one of the ones you should know, no matter what your style. No, Uber did report, Miss Sherry. Lyft has earnings after the close. And I'm just saying there might not be any bifurcation there. Good eye. You're right. It did. What? See that? High level opinions. Uber had a report. I was talking about Lyft. HIMS. When it's another, when the FDA, it's a lot of things you run from and you stay away from, and you run to anything therapeutics, diagnostics, isotope. You run to. You run away from FDA, accounting. This is the other one yesterday. Account. How about this one, KD? Trying to buy this accounting fraud? Actually, it did bounce like 10 cents. The Frog. Mr. Frogger. The Frog, nice 3-day bounce. Earnings soon. Always strong, the Frogger. That's one that might work. We'll update you. EWZ still taking calls. A day delay. Everybody panicked and says, "Oh, it did work last night. I'll sell it now." Really, it'll work. Watch. EWZ. Here's another one. They heard that obviously we're watching. He's watching TradeGateHub again. FRMI again. I got to do. I'm in. Freaking shareholder. Not scare me away. Buy another 800. How many do I have this thing? Buy another 800. Roblox breaking lower into you. Roblox breaking lower. These two are supposed to go together. There's another one, guys. Third day up. 1 day. 2 days. 3 days. Okay? So, where's the VIX? Oh, man, they're selling off. VIX is at the high, I think. All right. Gotta regroup here. I hope ADM. I hope something like an ADM works. Not for me. Is it, you know what I mean? Something just to it's pure. It's not. I'm not gonna walk. I'm not gonna lose sleep and get excited. I'm not gonna even take a lot. I just hope it works for the purity of it. Netflix shareholder. ADM's collapsing. I'm only kidding. Pulse. This IBRX. Got to keep it on the screen. Got to keep it on the screen. Deserves to be on the screen. If you're short, Wolf, you're pissed. I'm not saying it's a buy here, but I'm going to tell you that previous weekly high, no matter what the stock, you want to go by the close, actually. But this high right here, what's the high right there? 1705. A close over 1705 over a weekly close on Wolf is really what's going to keep these algo based. Right there. Futures collapsing. FRMI, they have an appetite. They have an appetite. They're worried. They're, oh my God, it's going to be 20. Well, I'm kidding. But there's the, okay, now here's the weekly on FRMI. Now it's taking calls. There's the weekly. So I'd like to get over 907 because that's, everything depends on 947. Next, as SanDisk is going lower. A-Lab, NVIDIA. NVIDIA had its chance for a couple of days now. This stock should have, I don't know. Cisco's breaking lower. Speaking of Miss Sherry here. That's, I don't know, that's a decent amount of volume on Cisco. And I'm going to tell you something. That's had a lot of volume lately, considering that what's been going on. MU. Somebody said, I don't like you. Somebody just came in right there that printed and put a bearish bet in on MU. A bet. Netflix. FU. D-Dog. No range. FRMI. We're going to get to it. Stocks at the freaking high and the futures are at the low. Walmart, first day down. One day doesn't make a reversal. You know, Walmart is in the NASDAQ now, right? It is in the QQQs. You know that? Walmart, first day down. Dollar General. This is the one you want to try short. See this Dollar General weekly? The one I've been trying to short, if I did try to short something that's been ripping, this one has never broke the 200-day. It's been bound. This is the one you want to try if you want to try one of these things. That's a flagger too. Dollar General. Matter of fact, I would do it if I was inclined to be cavalier. EMPH, another one you got to keep an eye on. This feels wolf-like. Now you're getting a little, you might be getting a little heavy in the tooth in the market here, but we're not here to pick the market. So actually, it's the wrong for me to say. But EMPH has this type of wolf-like quality. Keep an eye on it. New high, buy stop, new high tomorrow. New EMPH. That's our job to take money out of the market. 52.75. Now you see it get triggered. You drop some, you water the flowers, and you cut the weeds. You work the trade, right? Airlines holding great, J Norm. They're holding great. And you know what? I thought of you because I wrote this down. ULCC, isn't that an airline? That is earnings after the close, or tomorrow morning. Isn't that an airline? Isn't that that was one of your best calls in history? I think that was your first pick. ULCC has earnings in the morning, J Norm. You see this? Very few people. Okay, let me leave it. Listen. All right, am I off the screen? You'll see what I'm going to do. You know what to do. If not, watch over the YouTube video again and ask questions. I'm here. Look at the list. Look who has earnings after the close. I'll be here for a while. This is what I do. I can't wait. But if I would, I'll leave off again to be redundant. Follow who I follow. Okay. Please, you can always delete or add. It's purely 100% financial. Not women, not horses, not cars, cigars, whatever it may be. Okay, right there's who I follow. One of the few people that in my, what am I? I'm going to be 53 in my career, and I started trading at 20. Did I ever give money to? Sunrise Trader. Now he's aware. Follow him. Now payday sold. Schwab. First of all, J Norm had it before him. That's what but now it's payday. He's starting to take some profits in these 3-day. It doesn't mean it's right. Net over time, even if you can get this kind of embedded in your head, if it doesn't work, at least it's another major idea to pivot off of. Do you know what I mean by that? So follow who I follow, right? You don't like Jim Cramer, forget Jim Cramer. You got to listen. You don't like Coach? Who doesn't like a guy named Coach? Who doesn't like a person who Jack Schwager and David Hunter and Helene Miser calls Coach? That's coaches calling coaches. It's like, they're calling a doctor, doctor. If you don't follow Coach, you don't follow Mike V, at least be agnostic or atheist. What do you want to call it? Follow Jesus. Go with the flow. There's the SanDisk Post. That's the public feed. He's aware. Even if you're not in it, be aware of it. All right? I'll try to do better tomorrow. Cheers. Be aware of what has earnings. Thank you for everybody posting. And not only that, the professionalism, really, without that. I appreciate the stock picking. Really cool, clean, and professionalism. As you've noted, I'm not cursing anymore. And I'll try to do better, right? So I'm humbled.